Hey everybody, and welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today we're going to be going over a motorsporting race that I shot last year in 2025. So run the intro and let's get right into it. Last year, I was hoping to find a way to expand my automotive portfolio, and one of the best ways that I can do that is by going to my local track. The track that I can go to is called the Utah Motorsport Campus, and I knew that on their website they had a calendar with all of the events that would be coming there throughout the year. So I checked the calendar and found a motorsporting event called the Porsche Sprint that I thought was going to be really cool, and best of all, it was free for me to go. So I went to the race, and I thought it'd be fun to bring you guys along and show you guys what it's like for me to photograph a race before, during, and after, the whole 9 yards. When that's done, we'll come back here to my desk in my office. We'll go through some of the raws. We're going to talk about a couple of the decisions I made, things that I liked, things that I don't like, things I want to improve on next time when I go to another race. And hopefully in this entire start to finish process, I can teach you guys something that you can implement into your own routine and into your shoots. So I'll stop talking, let's go to the track and shoot some cars. For my first time at a Porsche Sprint event, I wanted to make sure that I was ahead of the curve and that I got as much information as I could before the actual race even started. So we got here on the day of practices. We got to be able to see into the garages, which was kind of cool. Got some sweet pre-racing photos of everybody with their cars kind of set up, just parked. Maybe the hood is open, maybe they're just waiting to get out onto the track for their practice. But that was really cool. The other thing we got to do was find the schedule for the entire 3 days that they're going to be here. So today is Friday, and that means that they're only doing tests and practices. So they're only getting information for the track, they're just getting data, getting a feel for everything, trying to work out bugs, all that stuff. While they're practicing, I'm going to practice because there are so many sections at the track that I can go to as a spectator that I can photograph them. And I want to try out a couple different spots while they practice to see what spot I like the most, so that when I come back tomorrow on Saturday for race number 1, I know the spot I want to try first and the spot that I liked the most, so I can get the best shots of them when they're actually on the track battling it out for their positions and for first place. Right now it's kind of a dull moment. Some cars are running just like some spare laps just for practice. One of them just went by and it looks really cool. And once they start kind of coming out here and more people start running practice laps, I'm going to test one of the spots that I want to shoot from potentially and see what kind of results those turn for me. So we'll see how that turns out. So here we are, day 2 at Burt Brothers Motor Park for the Porsche Sprint West Challenge. So we learned a couple things yesterday. First, we learned where we want to be for all of our photos today. I scouted out a couple of locations yesterday to try to figure out where I wanted to shoot pictures of the race today. And so let me tell you all about all the places that I went. One of them was at the end of the track, coming into the first corner. I thought that could be a really cool spot with them coming down that straight, because they would be just gunning it. And shots there aren't bad, but I don't want to post up there the entire race. I don't feel like I can get up high enough to get rid of the barriers because the cars are driving right next to them. The second spot is where I'm currently sitting, is kind of at this S spot. I shot Formula Drift here last year, and I know that this is a really good spot with a high vantage point, so I can get over barriers and see the cars really easily. So I will probably shoot here a lot. There were a couple other spots I wanted to try along the track, but they had the gate closed off because I don't think this event is like super popular and that there's going to be a massive crowd here. I am going to be shooting from this S-curve because I feel like I can get 2 to 3 different angles within this short period of time for the race. The race is only like 30 to 35 minutes, so I don't have a lot of time to run around the track and get different angles, so I got to post up somewhere where I feel like I can get a lot of different shots, and that's why I'm going to be sitting here. That sounds so cool. So right now, while they're doing their qualifying laps, I'm going to get my test shots, figure out my settings, kind of dial everything in on my end, so when the race comes, I'm not scrambling to try to figure things out. I'm already ready to go. I have everything dialed in, and I can get the most shots in the short amount of time the race is actually going to be active. So enough talk, time to shoot, and get those practice laps in. So about an hour and a half out from the legitimate Porsche Sprint West race, and right now they just have got the Porsche GT track day opened up for all the Porsche owners here to take out their personal vehicles, run the track, have some fun. There's been some really cool cars. There's some GT3s out here. There's some GT3 RSs. It's been really cool to kind of see everybody run out here with their own cars. And I've got some fun pictures of that. I'm sure you can hear them driving in the background. I think someone's even out here running like a 944. Or it's a 924. It might be a 924.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the man? Get your ass on.
So while I'm just chilling here, waiting for the event to start, I've decided to come up with my game plan that hopefully will get me what I want for the race. We're gonna go over to where I started looking at spots yesterday, and I'm going to photograph them lined up at the grid, ready to start the race. I'm going to kind of shoot towards the back end of that grid so that when I get that grid picture, I'm gonna hop down, run along the side to this last corner, and I'm gonna get people as they turn out and start smashing the gas to get to that straightaway. Once I get there and I can get people kind of turning out, I'm gonna jump up into one of the bleachers at the top of this final curve, and then change spots again and kind of just work my way around the S curves. So that's the plan. It's gonna involve a little bit more running than I probably was planning on today, but I wanna get a lot of different shots. So this should be really fun. I think I've got my camera settings figured out for the race. I don't want to do anything probably slower than 1/250th or 1/200th of a second, because then I think I'll just get a lot of blurry shots. And while the motion blur is cool, the car I don't think will be as sharp. So hitting that 1/250th, 1/320th of a second is gonna give me some decent blur on the wheels. You'll see the wheels turning, and it will allow me to get the car nice and sharp where you can like read the sponsors or keep the headlights still on the car. Other than that, it's gonna be a little bit trial and error. I'm interested to see if anybody touches during this race, if someone spins out. We'll start recording again when we have the grid lined up, and I'll try to keep it running so you can see me shoot the pictures to start the race, and then you'll see me run probably a lot to try to go get to my next spot. Okay, they just lined up on the grid. We got a little bit of footage of them coming out onto the grid, so that's kind of cool. Hoping to get a photo of them starting the actual race, which I think starts here in the next like 5-10 minutes. And then from there, we start booking it and we just start running around the track, trying to get as many pictures as we can. Let's see how it goes. Excited. The race is finally about to begin, so this is gonna be a good time. All right, they're going. Okay. All right, we gotta run. While we're running, safety car has gone out with the cars onto the track. I think they're doing just one little safety lap before they get out of the way, which means I have a little bit of time to run to my first spot. All right, we're at the first spot. Safety car is gonna come out over there where the pit lane is, and then the race kicks off. Oh, there goes the safety car. There's a safety car. All right, out of breath. The race has officially kicked off though. So we're up in a stand. Just waiting for them to come around the first turn on this S loop. So I'm tired, I'm out of breath. Definitely gonna need some water. Probably gonna have to go home and really consider working out more. We're gonna start by just getting a lot of really fast shutter speed. I'm gonna go over here to these end stands and kind of shoot them as they enter that corner more. And like they're gonna come in from here and go through there. Getting over here on these stands is gonna allow me to see more of them coming through that straight, entering that corner. rather than them just rounding it out already. So one of the things you can probably hear is I have the race actually pulled up on my phone to see where cars are at, where they are on the track, and just to see what the timing is on the course. So right now we have 30. It's a 30-minute race. So just wherever you are after 30 minutes, then once that 30-minute timer ends, you do 1 lap, and that's it. So we have, as of right now, we have 30 minutes plus 1 lap, and I can see them coming down that straight. So we're gonna turn the volume down, lock in. Here comes that lead car again, and we're gonna shoot some more. We're gonna change our camera settings back to what we knew was working earlier, get some We shot the lead car. I'm stumbling a bit, not great. Try to keep steady. Perfect, we're gonna try to get every car today. Just side note, while I'm shooting, these cars sound so freaking cool, and they look cool. I'm a big Porsche guy, so this is a good day. I think I've got shots of almost every car from this spot, and the race has probably got another 20 minutes left. So we're gonna change positions slightly so that I can see them coming out of that first curve into the second curve on the S, and get some photos of that. We'll start, same thing, high shutter speed, and then we'll move to a slower shutter speed where we can see the car with the blurred background, the wheels moving. And we're gonna stay there for probably another 5 to 10-ish minutes, and then we'll change spots again. Okay, I think we're about to head to the final spot. We have about 10 minutes left in the race, give or take. So we're gonna head, see if we can't get some of them on the straight, and then we'll hit some of them as they come around another bend. That is probably where we're going to end the race, is from that position over there. Just to get a different perspective, different shot from the race, instead of them coming around the same corner basically. So. I want a group shot of this, so we're gonna quickly change settings, because there's 4 of them right there. Oh, and there's a lot of battling going on right there. All right, there's a lot of them right here, a lot of contact. It's been a battle for all these cars. They're gonna be aggressive. They're really gonna push it. Okay, well, that was the race. I'm feeling good. I felt like we hit some really cool spots. We got some good variety, I think. We got some just frozen in action, hard stop on the cars. We also got a lot of really cool motion blur. I think overall it was a success, and given the time constraint and given where I was able to go. I think if I were to do things differently, just now that the race is over, I think doing a longer lens rather than my 70-200. 70-200 isn't bad, especially when they're getting on corners close to me, but if I wanted to photograph something on a straightaway, having something like a 3, even a 400 would be really nice, and you can really get a nice blurred background with those shots. Outside of that, I think things went well, and we're gonna go photograph the podium and see everybody celebrate, and that'll be the end of today. We'll be finished.
And it's for you.
Hell yeah, this has been the most nervous I have. I've been expected to do well, and I struggled for the first few days.
Performances like this, he'll love seeing you up here. Congratulations.
All right, we just finished photographing the podium. It was really cool. Very similar to other races that I've done, where they'll do 3rd, 2nd, 1st, give out their awards. Someone from the media will direct them on certain poses that they need for the event, and then they pop champagne and spray it all over each other. So overall, I think things went really well. It is cooking out here right now. It's almost 90 degrees Fahrenheit. It's 90 degrees in freedom units. It's kind of brutal running around out here with all my gear on because I have my backpack on me, I have my double harness, both my cameras, they're ready to record wide, tight video, photo. It's a little heavy. It was a good workout today, but excited to get in my car with some AC and go home. Now we go home and we edit and we sort all of these pictures. Now that we're back here in the office, let's go through some of the raws and let's talk about a couple of the highlights that I want to cover from this racing event. Between the practice session on Friday and the full race on Saturday, I ended up coming home with 9,651 images. I know. It's a lot of images, and I'm sure some of you are sitting there thinking, wow, I don't want to go through that many photographs. That's a waste of time. It's a waste of storage space. You just got to take your finger off the shutter button a little bit more. No. I'm not gonna do that. One of the reasons why I'm shooting on such a high burst mode throughout the event is so that I can be picky and get the exact frame I want from the race. If I shoot on a lower burst mode or even a single shot the entire race, I'm gonna come back home and think to myself, man, if only I had a frame in between this picture and this picture. Shooting on the high burst mode allows me to have so many images that I can choose from, and I can select the exact moment that I want. Another reason why I'm shooting on such a high burst mode is so that I can work through any mechanical or user errors that I'm going to encounter while I'm doing my shoot. In particular for this race, because I'm trying to pan with the cars, there are times that I panned and I was too slow and I cut off the front of the car. Or there were times where I was too fast and I cut off the back of the car. If I'm only shooting on a low burst mode or even a single shot mode, I'm not gonna get a lot of images and I'm gonna have that car in my frame for 5 seconds. And if I don't get anything in those 5 pictures that I'm gonna take, I have to wait for the car to come around the next lap. Whereas if I'm shooting a burst mode, yeah, 90% of them might not be any good, but because I'm shooting and I'm following the car, I'm eventually going to adjust my shooting and I'm gonna find something that's gonna be usable in that sequence. So it increases my rate of getting good shots, good composition, good in-focus shots throughout the entire event. Another reason why I'm shooting on such a high burst mode throughout the entire event is because one of the best pieces of advice I've ever been given is to be proactive, not reactive. Being proactive throughout the event means I'm doing a lot of things. I'm going into the event with a plan. You saw me talking through my plan, through places I wanted to be. I'm thinking about positioning, shots, composition, camera settings. I'm thinking about all of that before the event even starts. Especially on a shorter event like this, if you're shooting a sporting event, a race, something that's like 30 to 60 minutes, you really need to make sure that you're going in with a game plan so that you can get the most out of that short time frame. Another reason you want to be proactive is so you can tell the best story. If you're going into a sporting event, you should be understanding key players, you should find stories that you want to track, you should be keeping an eye out for stories that progress throughout the event, and you should be adjusting through all of that while you're there. For this particular race, that's something I needed to do a little bit better on. I should have done a little bit more research on the drivers, if there was a big race lead, if someone was going to win the championship or shooting themselves up a lot further in points, if there was underdogs, rivalries. That's all stuff that I should have researched before I got to the track. Following that, being proactive allows you to get really great images, whereas if you're like me and you're just a little bit reactive on the story end of it, you may come away with some good images, but you maybe missed out on an opportunity to get some great images. A great example of me being proactive in this race is actually towards the end when that Porsche came and spun out right in front of me. Now, I'm not gonna pretend like there wasn't a little bit of luck involved with that, right? I happened to be at the perfect place, right time, and I happened to not be shooting any panned, blurred images, so my camera settings were ready to capture the freezing action of the car as it spun out. That being said, I was also very proactive in that scenario because I was tracking the whole car, I was on my high burst mode, I was focusing his entire way through that corner, and because I was doing that and I was focused on my framing and I had done all of the prep beforehand, I have an entire sequence that starts with him rounding the corner. I have his car starting to kick out a little bit. I have his car spinning 180 on the track. I have him going into the dirt, and then I have the dust cloud following him as he continues to go off the track. If I was just being reactive in that exact moment, by the time I recognize that his car is spinning out or I'm hearing the tires screech, I've already missed half of the shots that I want to get. I'm really glad that I was able to hold that entire sequence, that I was able to be proactive, and that I was ready for it when the time came. Great shots come when you are proactive. So if there's one thing I can really drill into you from this video, be proactive, prep, think about your shots, and be ready when the time comes. Now, very briefly, I am going to touch on the camera settings because I did change a couple of things. There was a small window of time at the very end of the race where I did drop my shutter speed all the way down to 1/60th, 1/80th, and 1/100th of a second to try to really get some exaggerated motion blur on the cars as they passed me. The reason I felt comfortable doing that is because I knew that I had my safe shots earlier in the race. I'd photographed every car. I'd gotten some freezing action of every car. I'd gotten a slight motion blur shot of every car, and I'd gotten multiple positions. Because I knew I had images that I could come away from the race with pretty happy, that was the moment I decided I'm gonna try something a little crazy, I'm gonna stretch myself, I'm gonna try something a little bit more creative and see if it pans out. Then my experimental shots are when I really dropped my shutter speed down a lot. Now, I didn't do a lot of experimental shots for this particular race because I spent the majority of my time getting my safe shots. Out of the 500 or so experimental shots I got with my really exaggerated slow shutter speed, about 30 of them panned out. And those 30 that panned out, they look really, really good. They look a whole lot better than the slower motion blurred shots that I got earlier in the race. The experimental shots, if they work out, are going to be some of your favorites from the event. They are for me for this race, and when I've done other events in the past, they're some of my favorite pictures. But if those experimental shots don't work out, it's okay because you have a safety net of all the other images from the event so that you're not going home empty-handed. Now, back to those 9,600 images that I took. What am I going to do with all of those? Well, I'm not keeping all of them, that's for sure. I'm going to go through all 9,600 images and I'm going to tag anything that I think is usable. Anything that's sharp, in focus, decent composition, anything that helps me tell the story. That's what I'm keeping. Anything else, we're throwing it away. So for this race, out of the 9,600 images that I got, I kept roughly 2,600. So that means there are 7,000 images, which are horrible composition, out of focus, whatever, that are getting thrown away, right? They're going straight into the trash bin. I'm saying goodbye, see you later, so that I can keep my hard drive space cleared. It can make it easier to find the stuff I actually want to keep, and it just helps declutter everything. Now, out of those 2,600 images that we've renamed and metadata tagged, we're gonna go through and make sure we pick only our absolute favorites to edit. That is gonna be maybe 100 to 200 photos for me. Even then, that's kind of a lot, especially when I'm only shooting to add stuff to my portfolio. Depending on who you're shooting for, if you're doing stuff for a client, you may do more, you may do less, but they don't want to go through a gallery of 1,000 images. So it's your job to cull through everything, make sure you're editing the best of the best and delivering that to them. Overall, I think the edits of this race turned out really good. I'm really happy with a lot of the shots I got. We got some fun pre-race stuff. We got some fun shots throughout the race. I got some good motion shots that I'm really happy with. We got some great celebration stuff. And overall, I'm really proud of how we shot this event. Hopefully you guys found this video entertaining. If you did, go ahead and smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel so you never miss another upload from me. And comment below if you have any tips for me or for our fellow shooters so that we can all grow our skills together. Now, go outside, make something cool, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace!